week we've seen a lot of cool things. Last couple of weeks we've seen trade deadlines. We've seen some players move, players stay. Let's first start off with the NHL. It's been a pretty good season for a lot of teams. The Ottawa Senators, the Florida Panthers. How about the Boston Bruins? It's been a very interesting season for them. They lost a big game last night to the Ottawa Senators. Do they make the playoffs? We'll see. Do the Ottawa Senators make the playoffs with this great run by Andrew Hammond from Surrey, BC? So the thing is, these feel-good stories that you see in the National Hockey League and even in basketball with the Atlanta Hawks and the Golden State Warriors. We see lots of cool things that are happening in all of these major sports. Baseball, same thing. They might be going to Cuba. I was reading a report that next year they're going to have 2 exhibition games in Cuba. It's great, boy. I never thought that would ever happen, and now actually we're starting to see these things happen. Things are changing, folks. Things are changing. Things are changing for the better. And, when you look at the NBA, look at the Golden State Warriors and the Atlanta Hawks. They recently played a couple days ago. It was an interesting game. Their star players were playing. One of them were injured. But at the end of the day, both teams put out a pretty good game in Golden State. Golden State won the game, but I think both teams showed why they're the best teams in the league. They don't just do it with their star players. They do it as a team. It takes a team to win a championship. It's not just one guy or 2 guys that get it done. It takes a team to win. Yet again, we've seen it always takes a team to win at the highest level in the NBA or any sport. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes building, it takes hard work, everyone working for one another. Just like you see in the NCAA tournament. You see teams like Duke playing awesome basketball, teamwork. Teams like Louisville, a close game today against UNC Irvine. Irvine had a chance to win it, but they couldn't do it. It's pressure. Louisville didn't give up. They stuck with it. They won the game. Same thing for the Terrapins, beating Valparaiso about an hour ago. You've seen in these tournaments and these games, the pressure moments. Same thing in the NHL. When you think a team's going to lose, they come in and they win. Like Vancouver versus the Blue Jackets. I thought Vancouver would win. Probably like 3-2. But Columbus comes in, they steal 2 points. Went 5-2. Amazing. Didn't see that coming. Columbus Blue Jackets. You think they've given up on the season? No. They re-signed a couple of their key stars of the future. They're looking at getting into the Connor McDavid sweepstakes for the draft for Jack Eichel. I think they'll probably get a 5th round pick. It's going to be pretty close. But, they've had a pretty good season. They've had a lot of injuries. They acquired David Clarkson at the trade deadline for, I think, Nathan Horton's contract. Horton's probably done. I wouldn't say he's done. He might show up as a Leaf next season. We'll see if his back gets better. It might get better because it is a degenerative situation with his back. Never say never in this game. You might see him next season. It's a pretty good trade. It's a good building piece for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Clarkson brings in lots of character, leadership, former 30-goal scorer. Still lived up to it in Toronto. It's a good fresh start. Look at the other moves that were made at the trade deadline. Not many I can talk about, but there was a few. Jaromir Jagr, before the trade deadline, went to Florida. I felt that was a great move for Florida Panthers going forward. A huge move for that market. Roberto Luongo. They've had some injuries. Dan Ellis came in, made some great saves, kept them into this playoff race. They look amazing. Just like the Ottawa Senators with Hammond taking over for Anderson. Craig Anderson, just not the goalie he once used to be. He's had so many injuries. Now they got to stick with Hammond. Hammond's the way to go. You see guys like Bobby Ryan stepping up their game. It's great. The Toronto Maple Leafs, different story. Arizona Coyotes, different story. These 2 teams are done. The Buffalo Sabres are still winning a few games here and there, but they're done too. They're all pretty much tanking it. It's sad to see great teams like Toronto Maple Leafs playing as bad as they've been playing. You have the Kadri situation. It's not good. From what I'm hearing, I wouldn't be surprised if Kadri's traded at the draft, along with maybe Bernier. He's played very bad right now. I think Reimer might be the only goalie left. They'll probably go sign a goalie in the offseason. They might go after maybe Eddie Lack, Vancouver, sign maybe Niemi from San Jose. We'll see what happens. There's going to be a lot of movement at the NHL entry draft in June. And you're going to see a lot of players changing teams. The salary cap's supposed to be coming down. You're going to see a lot of changing. There won't be as many free agency at the free agency. I think it's in July 2nd or July 3rd or July 1st. I don't know what day they're going to do it on, but it's probably July 1st. You won't see too much free agency movement. I mean, because most of the free agents have signed, and if anyone does sign, it'll probably be like a 1-year deal or a 2-year deal or something, because especially with the salary cap, it's going down, so it's going to be hard to make big money now in the NHL. So we'll see what happens. I mean, the playoff races are going to be interesting. Look at San Jose, the LA Kings. They're going to be battling it to the end of the season to get into the playoffs. The Calgary Flames will be battling too. They won their last 2 games. They've been very hot. Same thing, Eastern Conference. Look at the Islanders. Look at the New York Rangers. The Rangers have been doing amazing without Henrik Lundqvist. Players like Kevin Hayes have come in, college kid, showing amazing moves, showing potential to be a star player. You have some really good players really showing their stuff. Tavares, showing with the Islanders. Last year at the Nassau on the island, they'll be moving to Brooklyn next season. They re-signed Boychuk to 7-year deal along with Nicoletti. So, I mean, it looks good for the New York Islanders long term, as far as I'm concerned. We may move on to UFC. I mean, UFC has been in the news of late. We've had a lot of controversies. But I got to tip my hat to Ronda Rousey. She beat up Kat Zingel. I thought Kat Zingel would probably defeat her. She's proven to me that she's one of the best in the world. They're gonna probably bring in some more talent to go up against her. But at the end of the day,